do you think you require in order to succeed in today's competitive world of business?
Okay, the first one is you have to be able to work hard, or be prepared to work hard. The second one is I think you need to have a job that you have a passion for, because if you're working those sort of hours, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And I think in my instance, the third one is making sure that you have the right advice from your accountants and your legal team.
Okay, thank you. What advice would you give to a young person who's embarking upon a new career path?
Embarking on a new career path. I think having a real passion for what you do is important, because you will be working long hours, and if you don't like what you're doing, it'll be pretty hard to keep going.
Okay, thank you. Did you decide you wanted to be a businessman, and why?
I wanted to be my own boss from quite an early age, because my dad had his own business. He had a bakery, and he worked very, very hard. And he always said to me as a kid, he said, be your own boss. And it's not until I became my own boss that I understood what he meant by it. And I think I'm unemployable now. Being your own boss is scary, but also very it's different. It's being your own boss helps you do things that you would like to do when you want to do them. It's good.
Okay, thank you. Your friends and family been in terms of realising your dreams?
Well, like I said before, my dad said to me, always, if you can, be your own boss. And I often looked up to my father and thought, I want to make sure that he's proud of me. So I worked hard, and when the opportunity came for me to start my own business, I thought, yep. So what I did then was that I made sure I would talk to my dad at night. He lived in the South Island and I was here in Auckland, and I would ring him up and he'd go to me, how's work going? And I'd tell him about the different things, and he would advise me on different things as well. So it was good to be able to bounce those ideas off my dad. So yeah, I think my dad was probably the biggest influence.
Thank you. Influence professionally on your business career, and why?
Yeah, my dad has had a huge impact. But I think also when you're by yourself and you're not married with any children, you don't really think too much about consequences. But when you've got a family to look after, I think then all of a sudden there's a different perspective. You look at it and you think, well, how can I best look after my family? And taking some risks, and calculated risks, and working very hard and having your own business allows me to look after my family a little bit better than I would say if I was working for someone else. So, I think that's also had an influence as well, wanting to be able to look after your own and do it as best job you can. Then I think that's certainly been another driving force as well.
Okay, thanks. The most defining moment of your business career?
When at my previous job, before I had my own business, the company was going through a restructuring, and one of the things that happened was that all the manufacturing sites throughout the world, I belong to a company called IMI Cornelius, and IMI Cornelius is a very, very large international company, and they have manufacturing plants all over the world. And then what IMI did is they decided to get out of manufacturing, apart from their main centres in the UK, China and the States. So all the other factories around the world, in Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, Philippines, all around there, they shut all those factories down. So what happened is that I then had to make a decision whether I started my own business and contracted to do that same work for IMI under our own steam. And I suppose the defining moment was going through a business plan and saying to ourselves, is this something that we're going to do? And the question I had to ask myself was, if I do this, here is our business plan, this is how we think it's going to work. But if I don't do it, I'll go to my grave saying, well, I wonder if I had. And I thought I couldn't do that. I'd have to at least give it a go. So to me, I think that's probably the defining moment, making the decision to go.
Okay. Thank you. Average week of work consist of, and how many hours do you put in a week?
As my business has grown a little bit, I'm not so much hands-on. So before I used to do some work in the factory and help do welding and sheet metal work and things like that, because when we were smaller we didn't have as many staff and it was all hands to the pump. You know, we had to, everyone did their bit. Now a lot of my day is spent working on new business, talking to customers, doing some quoting for them. And I'm not so much hands on the tools anymore, but I'm more, I step back a wee bit from the production and I have to kind of look at what other opportunities are out there for us to be able to get into to keep the guys on the shop floor busy, because we have 30 people now on the shop floor. It's a lot of people to keep busy, so we have to step back and look on the business and work on the business rather than in it. So hours, I'm still working long hours. I probably have 12-hour days. It's pretty much the norm, and probably at least one day on the weekend sometimes. So yeah, I'm getting 75 hours, 70 hours a week. It's up there, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. To sacrifice in order for your business to survive?
Family time, a bit of family time, because I'm often at work. And sometimes when when things weren't going so well, I didn't bring a lot of money home, so we didn't have also, sometimes, there was not much money to spend. But eventually it's come right, I think, a lot of my friends would have nice motorbikes or a nice boat or something like that, and I've basically put everything I've got back into my business, because in the long term I want the business to be a good model for my kids that come through and take over from me. But yeah, I think those things sometimes, you have to do without. The bigger picture is downstream.
Okay, thanks. And has your team been in ensuring the success of your business ventures?
I have an incredible business partner. His name is Mike. That's what MAG stands for, Mike and Garry. He runs the factory and he is brilliant. He is a real clever tradesman. He has such good ideas. His determination to make sure that everything that goes out of our factory is of the highest possible quality, and that's what's built us a good name, is building quality products. And that's predominantly due to Mike's approach on how signage should be made. He's a very hard worker. You will spend more time with your business partner than you do with your wife. 70 hours a week at work, and you come home and you're tired and you go to sleep. It's you spend a lot of time with your business partners, and if they're good business partners and you can trust them, and that's the other thing that we've always done, is we've completely trusted each other. Because if you have a business partner who who you think is getting up to no good, then you don't concentrate on working on the business. You're worried about what your other business partner's up to, and that's not constructive to having a good business. That's go, oh, what's he up to, or what's she up to? You know, you need to be able to go, I have full faith in that person. That person is doing an awesome job. I'm working hard just like they are, and together you can carry on and build up your business. The last thing you can do is have any doubts about your business partner. So, you know, people that try and sneak money out of the company for some reason, I mean, they're idiots. They really are. You know, they're just, they should never do it. You should absolutely, totally, impeccably trust your business partner. And then the guys that we've got working for us in the factory, because Mike runs the factory and most of our staff are in the factory area, once again, absolutely brilliant, hard working. We look after them, we pay them very well. We work long hours, so they get time and a half and bits and pieces, so they get good money when they work for us. Our facilities are really clean and tidy. It's like walking into a Ferrari workshop. Everything is beautifully clean. We have a guy that cleans the factory full time, that's his job. And then our sales staff and our operational staff, we all have a good laugh. You know, we go to work and we joke with each other, and you know, we have fun. I think it's important to make sure that in the work environment that you actually do enjoy it and that it's fun to turn up to. If you turn up to work and you go, oh, another day, why would you keep doing it? You know, you've got to have fun in life. So, you know, we're always joking with each other and giving each other a hard time, and no one is you know, even Mike and myself get jokes pranked on us and things like that. But it's good fun, and you've got to be able to give, you've got to be able to take a joke as good as you can give it, because if you get upset by people having a bit of fun at your expense, then you know, you've got pretty thin skin. So yeah, it's a bit of give and take. You know, you've got to go out there, have some fun, enjoy each other's company, because you spend a lot of time together. And if you don't do that, then you're really making it hard for yourself. So yeah, we've got a really, really good team out there. You know, a lot of the people that we've had working for us for well over 10 years now. And quite a few of them, some have gone away and come back again, because it's a good work environment, and I think that's important. If you've got a good work environment, everyone gets on well together, it's a good way to do it.
Okay, thank you. What difficulties have you overcome in order to succeed?
We have had to deal with companies going under that owe us lots of money. I think in the first 10 years of business I had $753 of bad debt. In the last 4.5 years we've probably had bad debts of $300,000. It's and that's straight off the bottom line, so that's a double-edged sword. You know, when you're trying to put that money back into your bank account, you should really have been making other product to sell to, you know, it really is difficult, and it hurts. It really hurts. So luckily we had a bit of money in the bank, so we were able to withstand the bad debt and not have it affect our business. You know, it still affected us, and we had to tighten our belts and not spend any money for a wee while and build the money back up again. But it's very disheartening, you know, when companies walk away from their responsibilities and put themselves into receivership or whatever, and then start up again the next week under a different name, and it's really quite frustrating. I think New Zealand law is quite lax on that, and I think they need to change it, because people know that it's an out, and most of us would probably not be able to sleep straight at night if we did that sort of thing, but there are people out there that don't think twice about it, and if they can walk away from their responsibilities and debts, then they'll do that. So that's probably been one of the hardest ones to swallow of late. Like I said, in the first 10 years we had next to no bad debt at all, but things have changed.
Okay, thanks. What is the key to success?
hard work, passion for what you do, good advice, and a good business partner.
Okay, thank you. This challenge you have faced, and how did you overcome this?
We had a unexpected tax bill come to us one year. Our old accountants we used to have were not quite onto it, and all of a sudden rang me up one day and said, "There's a $75,000 tax bill that's due that needs to be paid next month," and I had no idea it was coming. And that's an awful lot of money to get out of the equation. So we had to pay some of it. Obviously, we had some money in the bank, and then we put the rest of it onto a payment scheme. But it took a long time because unfortunately money doesn't come rolling in. You've got to work hard to get it. So it took a wee while for us to get through that. And one of the things that happened was that it was we were paying it off in a payment scheme to Inland Revenue and paying pretty high interest rates on it, obviously, because of its overdue tax. But what happened is that we got rid of that accountant and then got a new one, a very good one. And John from Lynch Fibs, he was amazing. He went to Inland Revenue and he said to Inland Revenue, this was just before we started the Z contract, which was a very, very big contract. It was the largest signage contract in New Zealand's history. So, and he went to Inland Revenue and said, look, the guys are really struggling at the moment. If you want to force this tax bill on them, you will put them under. But if you give them some grace, they have got a big contract coming up and you will get lots of tax paid out of that contract, which is what happened. So Inland Revenue, thankfully, took $40,000 off our tax bill. We paid an awful lot more to them in tax after that when the big contract came through, but that was a huge help. And having John, as I was saying before, about getting the right financial advice, I'm not an accountant, I'm an engineer. So I needed to rely on my accountant to tell me what to do and when I should be making payments, etc. And this other guy didn't do too good a job. So all of a sudden we were in this difficult situation that could have been avoided. But John came along and helped us dramatically to a point where he managed to save us $40,000 in tax, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's why I said before, it's so important to have the right accounting advice and the right legal advice. You get those things sorted, and that combination of a lot of hard work and some good ideas and a bit of Kiwi ingenuity and things like that, you can go a long way. But having that right advice is really important.
Okay, thank you very much.